I was born ready.
All right. Oh, cool guy. Okay. Hey,
What?
welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. Then make sure you check out, make sure I do it the right way. Matt and Matt's Beer Reviews. Unless you're watching it on his channel, then come to my channel.
That would be Ryan at All Hype Beer Reviews. It's pretty easy. Just type in All Hype Beer Reviews Ryan, and it'll pop up. Put it in Ask Jeeves, and you'll find it quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been a big fan of Bing lately. Real good search engine. Yeah, Bing.
Yeah, don't say that kind of stuff. We can joke about stuff, but not anybody. Listen, Kyle can speak for himself, but I don't care if I lose subs. If you use Bing, just unsubscribe to me right now.
I don't want you around. I use Yahoo, so there you go. That's who I am as a person.
I use Yahoo for news. I like going to Yahoo that news page, but I'm a Google.
Yeah. That is why I like Yahoo actually, is because it just just here's a bunch of news and it's a variety, and I do like that. Yeah, but I know people tuned in to know where we get our news from, but. Besides that, we also have a beer we're going to be reviewing today. We both got sent the same few beers and a couple different ones. We decided to pick one that is the same. And this is from Woodland Farm Brewery. It's their Pinot Grigio Heartbeat, which is a barrel-aged farmhouse ale, a mixed fermentation, dry farmhouse ale with earthy, spicy, and barnyard notes, brewed especially for Carl, who is the son of the head brewer, Keith.
Okay, I was going to ask if you knew that. There you go.
Yeah, and then aged in Pinot Grigio barrels, batch from 2021. It is currently 2022. And I noticed this as well, Matt. You mentioned it in your unboxing. No ABV, so we don't know what we're going into here.
Yeah, I mean, we could play that game while we're doing it, and we can guess on it. I mean, you're talking about the Pinot Grigio barrel-aged farmhouse ale. I'm guessing it's probably flirting around 7%. That's my guess.
My guess was 7 to 8, and then depending on how wet the barrels are and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Now, about this brewery, have you had anything or heard of this brewery before they sent you anything? Because how far are they from you? That's what I was about to say. They're not super far from you, right?
No. So, yeah, we've been talking a little bit on Instagram, and I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to come out. And he was like, yeah, give me a heads up so I know you're coming, and then, show you around kind of a thing. And, yeah, maybe... I forget. I looked it up because I actually lived there a little bit when I was a little kid, and went to my first brewery tour was when I was either still in my mom or barely out. But at what was it, Matt
FX, yeah, Ithaca, basically.
Yeah, way back in the day, Utica Club.
Okay. Is Matt FX? Is that who is that? Saranac. That's what I call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, not far from where I'm living now, the capital region in New York, and yeah, definitely gonna head out there, and yeah, pumped. How about you? Had you heard of them or?
No clue, man. Like, yeah, they wrote me. I would assume probably a week after you, because I think you got a beer mail about a week before me, okay. And they're probably just looking around, being like, hey, whatever. Or they just found themselves on YouTube and decided to reach out to these two guys. Big mistake, but no, it was kind of cool because it looks like they're kind of like. They do a lot of barrel-aged stuff. They do a lot of traditional beers. They do a lot of different stuff, but it's also, from what I've gleaned from their website and stuff, they're very much kind of like old school brewery. They have food, they have beer, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to call them a brew pub, but very much that DNA exists in what they do, kind of.
It does feel that way. They're posting like what band or they got to come and play, and then they have what seems like a bigger barrel aging program than what I would associate with everything else you just said. Like it does seem. Yeah. Larger than
they're like a real like farm brewery that does a bunch of barley wine and has food and bands. I mean, who that place sucks, obviously.
yeah. Who'd want to go there? Yeah. It's up my alley for sure.
Anything else about this before we open it?
Just I'm really excited to open it and try it. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Nice variety. You hear barrel aged beers and like you said, barley wine, stouts. Heavies, farmhouse ales. Oh, yeah, I gotta remember. My new setup. I got a new. I know you know this already. I got a new computer, and I'm used to my camera being down here, so I gotta get used to. I moved it up there now.
Your camera looks way better than it usually does. I'll tell you this much.
It's a computer. It's the same exact camera.
Well, and that's the thing. What do you use? What kind of camera do you use? Is it your phone or?
It's Logitech 1080 something, you know. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. A lot of times the computer, your CPU does a lot of the heavy lifting and processing of the image, so it's probably that. There you go. Tech corner on the.
Where we get our news from, technology, everything except beer talk. It's funny.
That looks like ginger ale.
That very much, yes. Okay, and it almost like has the carbonation of a soda.
That's what I'm saying. Like it has the carbonation, the head, everything about it looks like getting some Schweppes up in this piece.
That'd be a good April Fool's joke. It's actually just ginger ale.
Yeah.
I mean, you're thinking about his son and Grigio barrels, and it's just ginger ale.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, farmhouse ale. You're expecting something with a little bit of lively carbonation. Pinot Grigio barrel stuff. You're expecting it to lean into clear yellow with a tint of, berry light reddish color, maybe pinkish kind of hues. So it kind of looks the part,
No, it does. It definitely does. Nice little, white head on it and everything. Yeah, it definitely looks the part.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys can see that carbonation, I mean, it's died off just a hair, but I mean, Kyle's is still going super strong. You have an agitator in the bottom of that one. I think Goma Gang puts some.
Goma Gang glass, and I can't tell if it does or doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. The nose. Yeah.
Besides looking the part, it smells the part.
I think that smells awesome. It's like it's actually kind of like, I mean, it like not to be too on the nose, but it smells like a Pinot Grigio barreled farmhouse ale. But there's something extra to it, like and it's like a sweetness, but it's not like a candied sweetness. It's almost like I don't know, like it's like there's this cool sweetness about it that reminds me of something I can't put my finger on.
I mean, that's the first thing I saw when I smelled it. It smells the part, it looks the part, and smells the part. I get like honey maybe is a sweetness, honeysuckle.
Yeah, something like that. Like I am admittedly not a wine person. I can't really do wine. There's something about the tannic dryness of a lot of wines that really just don't do it for me. And the only time I really get down with wine is when it's sweeter. So like either like an Asian plum wine, even like sometimes like some like Jewish wines, or like something like wine barrel aged like this, where it carries this sweetness to it that kind of cuts through that kind of dryness for me. So on a nose, I mean, it smells really, really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're getting that extra sweetness, but it does have all those barnyard. I mean, the same thing they said on their label. I mean, it has what you think this should smell like.
I mean, to go back to that, like you said, honeysuckle is very much like a floral sweetness, almost like you made like my wife. A lot of times, she'll take like some of the herbs and flowers in her house, and she'll make like a syrup out of them, like an elderberry syrup or whatever. This is almost like you took a bunch of flowers and made like a syrup, and then you added it like kind of like a Berliner Weiss, like you added like a little bit of like a simple syrup to the beer, not a lot, to the point where it's like again, it's a nose, you can't smell sweetness, but the perception of sweetness is cool. But like you said, I kind of feel bad I'm bulldozing over the fact that it smells like a farmhouse ale and it smells like a Pinot barrel beer. That is definitely there too.
Yeah. Should we get into the taste?
Cheers, homie.
Cheers, my friend.
So, full disclosure, I forgot to put mine in the fridge.
Okay.
So I put mine in about half an hour before we went on the air, but I put it in my regular fridge, so that way it kind of chilled a little bit. So it's probably closer to like mid 50s than probably high 40s, which is usually where I start these kind of things off. I think that's a good happy little mistake. It's like the Bob Ross of beer reviews. Happy little mistake. This is it's flavorful. The wine barrel, the Pinot Grigio barrel for me is probably the most prominent part of this, both from an oak tannin dryness kind of thing, a vanilla kind of thing, and then actually the spirit, well, not spirit, wine kind of things, but it's not overpowering.
Yeah.
The Farmhouse Ale portion of the show, I think that's where you're obviously deriving a lot of the sweetness. So that's bringing that to the table, but it lacks a little bit of character to me, for me,
Okay.
outside of a little bit of bitterness. But I will tell you this: this is like super neutral, like to the point where I can probably drink this whole bottle, even with it being a little bit warm, in like minutes. Like it's so easy to drink.
It's very drinkable. I do get a decent amount of like everything you said, and then orchard fruit, like
Yeah,
apple, a little bit of pear, like as well. Um, this would be. I don't usually think of beer, especially doing the reviews, in terms of pairing with food or whatever. But this would be like a really nice beer to have with a meal because it has its own flavors, but it's not going to dominate, what you're eating. So I think that's a good.
another full disclosure because we'll do so many of those today. When I asked you when you want to do it, pre or post dinner, I was like, he's going to ask to do this pre-dinner. I know he's going to want to do it like 5 o'clock, so that way he can open this up and then have it for dinner. What do you do? What are you doing after this, Kyle?
I'm going to eat dinner after this. Yep. It's so true. Yeah. No, it's good. It's refreshing. And yeah, it does have a little bit. We kept talking about the sweetness, but there's that drying element. I think some of that's the beer itself, some of that's the barrel aging. But yeah, it just that when it does dry out a little bit, it's real pleasant. Not overly done on the vanilla or like even almost like not buttery notes, but like more like the vanillin of the barrel. Yeah, well, in the oak specifically.
Yeah, I mean it's actually aggressively, I would say aggressively dry. Not so much so that it dominates the beer, but well, that sweetness, that perceptual sweetness on the nose, while it's sweeter, it's sweet in the taste. It's not nearly as sweet as I thought it was going to be based off of the nose. I think that's part of that is the actual like oak, the big, huge, like comes off as like fresh French vanilla oak, kind of just drying everything out. There's a bittering here that I think is somewhere outside of outside, like when I associate dryness, a lot of times it kind of amplifies bittering, but I think there's a bittering here. It's a little bit bigger than I thought it would be. It's almost like a botanical kind of ginny kind of bittering. That's what I get from this is more of like a botanical kind of thing as opposed to a hoppy kind of thing. Like instead of hops, they use flowers or some kind of like thing in place of hops. That's kind of the way it kind of comes off for me. But that skinny kind of orchardy thing that you talked about earlier is very much kind of part of kind of brings it all together, I guess you would say, because it is big in Venice, it is big winey, but you're drinking a barrel aged beer. You also know you're drinking a farmhouse ale. All those components are individual, but they're pretty well melded, so it's not like it's like one note all over the place. It's very cohesive, and I have to go back and say this. I'm drinking this relatively warm. Like, if this is a little bit colder, I could see it being super crazy drinkable. But I think the opposite, that this being as warm as it is, it's a testament to how well it's made because, that's when those little niggles of like a negativity, whether it be sulfur blow off or some kind of out of tune kind of part of the beer kind of is going to show itself. It's not really doing that. And that's probably the most impressive part for me.
I like the botanical simple syrup discussion earlier. Like it very much does have that botanical dandelion wine, take whatever you want, but yeah, kind of a note for sure. Yeah, and it is. It's. I don't know. 'Cause I know when I did the I don't know how to pronounce it, the Bergian, the blonde barley wine. He was telling me that he likes to sit on them before they go out to the public. And like you were saying, how the flavors are melding. I mean, I don't know when in 2021 this was put into the bottle, but like it definitely drinks like all these different flavors have had time to, like you said, melt together, and they do work very well together.
Yeah, let's before we forget, let's play the ABV game.
Oh, Well, so I was thinking 7 to 8% before we opened. I'm going to go lower. I'm going to drop it a whole percent. I'm going to say it's somewhere between 6 and 7. That's right.
I want a hard, fast number, Kyle. I don't want ballparks.
All right, so I will say 6.45.
Okay. So on the initial taste, I actually wanted to go mad low, like
Okay.
really low. Like I wanted to eke towards like 5.
Okay.
Just because I was like, yeah, this is not a big beer. But the more I drink it, there's something to it. So, what did you say? 6.45. I'm gonna go 6.46. I'm gonna no. Actually, I said I had this in my brain before you said anything. I wanted to go 6.7.
Okay.
That was my thing. So I will. Let's look this up and see. Should we do this live on the air? No.
We can find it. Yeah. Yeah. And
Let's.
as it warms, the more I drink, I get more and more of that wine, the wine, which again is making me think, it's got more than 5% ABV to it, but not as much as I was initially thinking. Like, because you don't get too much alcohol itself taste. You get some like the fermentation. I'm just
Yeah. There's no kind of boozy
yeah. But then
thing
you're
to it.
tasting like barrel, you're tasting wine, things I associate with higher alcohol contents, but you're not getting the alcohol taste of it all. Yeah, no, for sure. Um, that's looks pretty on the glass. You still got like lacing and stuff. No
Okay.
legs, really. So again, like probably a lower, maybe even lower than I'm still thinking it is. I don't know.
Okay. Well, Untapped has it at 6.2%.
Okay.
Let's see if they actually have it on their website. I doubt it because this is probably stashy stuff, I'm assuming. You know what I mean? Like stuff that they had. Like I doubt they have 2021 bottles floating around, but who knows?
Yeah. But even is at 6.2. I mean,
No,
we're in
that
that
makes
ballpark.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Bottles. Heartbeat. Oh, they don't actually list it on the website of the ABV, so we're gonna have to go off on Tapped.
Okay.
I'm gonna go in on Tapped. I'm gonna change it to 6.7 just so I'm right.
But even, yeah, I mean, even, okay, so the 6 points, I mean, we're definitely in the ballpark, and I think if this was a mystery beer, people would be like, hey, yeah, you're pretty close on the ABV, and yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like you saying, like, what was it? Where are these guys? They're Utica,
Yeah, it's
but
the Utica area.
how far, how far are they from you?
I'll just look up on my phone quick, because I did look it up, like it would be, having the electric car, I'm always thinking like charges and stuff, and it was something I could do round trip,
Oh, hour and a
roughly.
half. Yeah, hour and a
So,
half.
yeah, it'd be an hour and 24 minutes according to my or my phone.
No, because I was like, oh, maybe we stop by when we come up for Beer Tube Palooza, but I was like, that's too far.
And it's, yeah, it's a little bit opposite direction where you're coming from too. I mean, not that it matters, but
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was pleasantly surprised, especially since they sent off the stuff that they sent, stouts and barley wines and a lot of big beers, and then have this rando farmhouse ale. I was like, okay,
yeah,
I can kind of dig on that, and
yeah,
I was curious to see where it was going to lie, specifically because, after having the golden barley wine, the two of those already, I haven't posted a review yet on those. It'll probably come after this, but and just it's cool to see breweries not just doing the stuff that they do. There's so many we were joking about it in the private chat about it's pretty much just like hazies and stouts, and it's pretty much like 80% of the breweries, and to have a brewery that's kind of a farm brewery doing kind of farmy things, and then having such a wide portfolio, it's very cool.
it's cool. Good on them. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, this is awesome, man. I do it for different reasons. My computer and everything. It's been a bit since I've been able to do a live stream, or I know this isn't live stream, but anyway, to do reviews with people and stuff. So it was really nice to be able to do that again. Anything else before I sign out?
No. I mean, just go check these out. Woodland Farm out. They like I said, they're up there and kind of, I guess you would say in the best kind of geographical way for people. They're basically almost dead center between Albany, and Syracuse, basically,
Yeah,
kind
and
of like
I think they
sandwiched in
have
between.
Syracuse footprint. I think if I remember correctly. But yeah, all right. Well, make sure you check out Matt at Massive Beer Reviews. And once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out and No Hype Beer Reviews on Instagram and Untapped. And I think I said this out of order. So as always, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly,
Imbibe. You gotta say it.
wine.
You gotta say it with like a crazy metal voice.
Ridiculous.
Oh man.